26 fights while losing only once.
Acknowledged by most experts as pound for pound, the greatest who ever lived.
I say I'm the greatest heavyweight of all time. But pound for pound, I still say Sugar Ray Robinson was the greatest of all time.
There was once a boxer who danced in the ring. A boxer called Sugar Ray Robinson.
Robinson was as close to perfect as any boxer in history.
When he won the world middleweight title 5 times.
Greatest fighter, pound for pound, who ever lived.
That man was beautiful. Timing, speed, reflexes, rhythms, body, everything was beautiful.
The guy had over 200 fights.
Blazing speed.
He fought for 25 years.
Uncanny timing. And ferocious punching power.
109 of these by knockout. Sugar Ray Robinson.
Born in 1921 and raised in New York, Sugar Ray was originally named Walker Smith Jr.
My name is Sugar Ray Robinson. It wasn't always Sugar Ray Robinson. I was born Walker Smith.
A fighter named Ray Robinson didn't show up for a fight. His manager gave his AAU card to my father, and my father became Ray Robinson.
Whose name was Ray Robinson. I borrowed his birth certificate. I meant to give him back his name, but he said I had to steal it.
From there, he was stuck with that name for the remainder of his life.
Robinson goes 89-0 as an amateur.
Let's take a look at a teenage Ray Robinson as a Golden Gloves featherweight in 1939. Who would believe that the string bean-looking boy in white trunks will go on to become the greatest fighter, pound for pound, of all time?
Robinson appears to have a boxing finesse far beyond his years. That pulverizing right crashes off Valentine's jaw.
Ray wins the featherweight championship in 1939 as an amateur.
The following year, he repeated winning a gloves title, but in the lightweight division, 135 pounds. And shortly thereafter, turned pro.
After winning back-to-back Golden Glove titles, Sugar Ray turned pro at age 19.
Ray Robinson comes out from the left. Robinson began his ring career professionally in 1940.
Most of his career was not recorded.
The great tragedy is that none of the great fights in his prime were ever filmed. We will never see this guy in his absolute peak where he can knock you out with one punch with either hand.
And lots of the stuff that was recorded just caught the tail end of the best exchanges.
One of the newspapermen remarked to George Gambit, my manager, that I was a sweet fighter. And George replied, sweet as sugar. And since that time, Sugar Ray Robinson has been added.
In his first year,
Look at this. With HubSpot Sales Hub, we've been able to find more prospects and grow our pipeline.
The sales team could become
world champions.
Ray Robinson, he break you down and then he knock you out.
Here in round 5, Ray will be looking for that one big knockout fight.
You know that he threw 6 punches at a time. Bing, 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 bing.
And when Robinson throws his punches, they come in bunches. Ray scores a turn left hook.
This is the film of Ray versus reigning lightweight champion Sammy Angat. Sugar Ray destroyed the lightweight champion.
Ray pouring it on.
But Angat made sure the fight was held beyond the lightweight limit, so he didn't have to risk his title. During World War II, Sugar Ray joined heavyweight champion Joe Louis in the Army Special Services Division, putting on exhibition fights for the troops. Robinson served for 15 months.
He was assigned to the Joe Louis Troop, which was a group of boxers headed, of course, by the heavyweight champion.
His rising dominance never slowed during his service.
When Ray was discharged from the Army, he had been widely recognized as the best welterweight in the world for a long time, but he couldn't get a title shot.
Finally, the Boxing Commission was forced to give Robinson a title shot against Tommy Bell.
6 years after turning pro, Ray is finally the world champion in 1946.
But at last, 5 days before Christmas 1946,
Sugar Ray Robinson was welterweight champion of the world.
His first title defense led to heartbreak.
June 1947, Robinson signs to fight California's Jimmy Doyle in the first defense of his welterweight crown.
Jimmy Doyle died in the ring. A boxing tragedy.
I hit him a left hook, and he dies right there in the ring.
But when asked by journalists whether he had intended to hurt him, Robinson said, "It's my job to hurt him."
You just need it for the money. So they get you out of the situation that you're in, stop your mother from working.
I've never enjoyed boxing. It's just a business with me, and I know I've never enjoyed it.
Robinson moved on, building his remarkable record, one knockout at a time.
Robinson took round one with hard punches to the body and head.
Ray held the welterweight title from 46 to 51.
It's all over. Sugar Ray Robinson scores a devastating second-round knockout.
Traveling the world, defeating foreign champions in their own country.
It's November 27, 1950. Sugar Ray Robinson takes on Gene Stock in Paris, France. Dynamite punches by Sugar Ray Robinson.
And just look at the speed of those blows.
Stock in desperate trouble here in round two. A crushing left hook by Ray Robinson and Stock goes down. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stock is on his feet once again as Ray moves in. A sensational combination of punches. Stock goes down for the third time. The referee picks up the count, but the towel is thrown in.
In the ring, he had speed, finesse, one-punch knockout power, and a ring IQ that was off the charts.
Luc Van Dam was the champion of Brussels.
It's December 9th, 1950. Ray Robinson takes on tough Luc Van Dam in Brussels.
Ray battered him in front of his hometown crowd.
Ray Robinson all over Luc Van Dam, and Van Dam goes down from a beautiful combination. Van Dam is holding his stomach. He's helped to the corner as the bell signals the end of the round.
Luc Van Dam had to be carried to his corner between rounds.
Ray with 3 lightning left hooks.
Ray finished the job in the next round.
And Van Dam goes down again. The referee counting over Luc Van Dam. It's all over.
Sugar Ray Robinson, the original.
Next, it was the German champ.
It's December 25th, 1950. Welterweight champion Ray Robinson takes on German middleweight Hans Stretz in Frankfurt. Another sharp left by Ray Robinson. A right-hand bomb and Stretz goes down. Hans Stretz trying to get to his feet.
Sugar Ray Robinson might be the greatest fighter of all time. A lot of people feel he is.
The referee screaming out the count. That's it. It's all over. Sugar Ray Robinson scores a 5th-round knockout victory over German middleweight Hans Stretz in Frankfurt.
Sugar Ray won the first 39 fights of his career before he moved up to middleweight to take on his most famous rival, the Bronx Bull, Jake LaMotta.
Sugar Ray held the World Championship welterweight since 1946, and he ran out of challengers. He just returned from a triumphant European tour, putting his title on the line 6 times in less than 2 months.
Robinson, early in his career, was so good that he was running out of welterweight challenges, and in order to get opponents, he would go into the next division.
The middleweight champ of the world, one of the ring's toughest competitors, the Bronx Bull, Jake LaMotta.
Because only one LaMotta-Robinson fight was recorded, I decided to cover the entire rivalry all at once in this section.
Sugar Ray Robinson and Jake LaMotta fought 6 times. LaMotta handed Robinson his first career loss in 1943.
So let's drop in to Bobby Gleason's gym in the Bronx, where LaMotta usually trains whenever a tough assignment awaits him.
Much of what is known now about Jake LaMotta, I think, rests on Raging Bull and what was in this generation, what they've seen.
LaMotta is most associated with the Scorsese biopic, Raging Bull, where a young Robert De Niro portrayed LaMotta.
upset Robinson. Now keep in mind, LaMotta might have had 19 pounds on it.
Sadly, only their final fight was filmed. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Best remembered fight from their series of legendary slugfests is the last one, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
And a fight that Ring Magazine places in the top 5 classics in boxing history.
Boxing Club proudly presents 15 rounds of boxing for the World Middleweight Boxing Championship. Sugar Ray Robinson. The World Middleweight Boxing Champion, Jake LaMotta.
And here it is. The bout the whole world's been waiting for. Broken night by Pabst Blue Ribbon beer from the Chicago Stadium. The present middleweight champion of the world, Jake LaMotta. The present welterweight champion of the world, Sugar Ray Robinson, the challenger.
Called the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
LaMotta's nose and right eye shows red around the skin from punching.
It was a brutal assault.
Robinson set him up with those body blows, damaged his nose. He has LaMotta on Clear Street, holding on. Row after row after row. From the ring, the crowd is standing and cheering.
Ray pounded on LaMotta. The fight was stopped, and Robinson had closed the book on their rivalry.
LaMotta's left eye is closing gradually. LaMotta at this moment, a tired battler, a chopping block. Robinson trying to KO him. The fight is going to be stopped on the signal from the chairman of the Illinois Athletic Commission, Joe Schreiner, to Frankie Sikora. The fight was stopped in the 13th round with our scorecard.
And the new world middleweight boxing champion, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Now excuse me while I get in the ring.
This fight, because it was seen by a lot of people, showed that boxing could have beauty to it.
Funny side note, despite the punishment he routinely took in the ring, LaMotta would live to be 95 years old.
I guess God gifted me with a hard head because I really couldn't feel punches.
Ray won the middleweight championship of the world in February 1951, 14 years ago, when he KO'd the tough Jake LaMotta in the 13th round.
Sugar Ray Robinson had 40 fights, right? 40-0. And then he lost one fight, right? And after he lost that one fight, he went 80 fights undefeated. And so the record was like 174-1.
Right.
He's a monster. There's some monsters in the past, you know. They put people like me in check. They put our egos in check.
It's June 16, 1951. Newly crowned middleweight champion of the world, Sugar Ray Robinson, takes on Gene Wolzak in Liege. Ray gets in with a lightning left hook, and Wolzak goes down. Wolzak listening to the count.
Wolzak is a demon for punishment. Now Robinson is fairly going all out.
Boom, perfect timing. And Wolzak goes down for the second time. It's all over. Sugar Ray Robinson scores a convincing 6th-round knockout over French middleweight Gene Wolzak.
Robinson had become an icon.
It was a wonderful time of life for all of us. Dad had all his businesses here. He had a real estate business, a barber shop.
He started multiple businesses in Harlem. He married and began a family.
The championship bout for the middleweight title. Ray Robinson against Randy Turban. Here's Robinson getting into the ring. The polo grounds is packed. 61,000 people.
His celebrity status had turned his fights into events, bringing out the biggest stars.
Joe DiMaggio and Marlena Dietrich. Joe Louis, Eddie Cantor, Eddie Egan, General MacArthur, Lowell Thomas. Every newspaper in the country is here. Robinson's best bet is to box this guy and look for spots.
In a huddle, his head collided with Robinson's, and the champion started to bleed.
The referee walked over to Ray's corner at the end of the 9th round and said to Ray, your cut is very bad. I'm going to stop the fight. Ray said, give me another round. He said, I'll give you one more round.
A bad cut nearly forced a stoppage. But Ray was given one more round to knock out Turpin.
Ray started to throw punches from all angles and caught up to Turpin, knocked him out in the 10th round.
On FanDuel Casino, new players get up to $1,000 back and 200 bonus spins for the #1 feeling, winning. Ranking higher than the 34th best feeling, successfully avoiding your neighbor.
This is murder. What's keeping Turpin up? He's getting hit more than he has in his whole career.
Give Daddy 3K.
Ray was victorious as often as he was. There would be an impromptu gathering of folks.
Ray celebrated the huge win by buying drinks for all of Harlem. At his own bar, of course. These expensive celebrations would take their toll on his finances.
It was important for him to be a champion. It was important for him to be liked.
Robinson-Graziano fight was one that was in the making for about 7 years. Although both fought out of New York, their careers up to now ran parallel, but they never crossed. Both had won and lost the middleweight title. Sugar Ray regained it from Randy Turpin just 7 months before this fight on September 12, 1951 to be exact.
The International Boxing Club has finally put together the match that the American public has been seeing through its crystal ball for many years. A so-called dream match between the challenger and former middleweight champion of the world, Rocky Graziano, and the current middleweight champion of the world, Sugar Ray Robinson.
In a super fight for the ages, icon Rocky Graziano and Sugar Ray Robinson would do battle for the middleweight title.
Graziano is 29 years old, and Ray Robinson is 32.
You know, he can do it all. The way he does it, the technique he uses, how he gets it across, the power, the result, how dynamic, how explosive, how legendary sometimes.
Graziano scores the first knockdown of the fight with about a minute to go in the round. Robinson backing towards the ropes. Graziano coming at him again. Shooting out that left-handed wide of the mark. Cutting out with a left that's also short. Graziano bobbing, weaving, coming in on Robinson, forcing the action.
The devastating right put Graziano down for the 10 count.
And Rocky is counted out. And Ray Robinson is the winner. Rocky still wants to fight, but referee Tommy Gilmore won't let him.
A crowd of 23,785, which never sat in its expensive seats, witnessing one of the finest exchanges for the middleweight championship of the world, paying over $252,000. Graziano walking dejectedly to his corner.
Big fight with somebody always coming from the brink of destruction and having over 202 fights. At least 80 or 90 of those fights, he's at the brink of destruction, almost losing and coming back to win. I mean, that shows the character.
The 1952 light heavyweight championship fight between champion Joey Maxim and the great Sugar Ray Robinson.
Challenging Joey Maxim for the light heavyweight crown at Yankee Stadium in June of 1952.
Robinson challenged Joey Maxim for the light heavyweight title. He had already won the welterweight championship and the middleweight championship.
From 1943 to 1951, Robinson was unbeaten with 91 wins.
Yankee Stadium, New York. Joey Maxim, world's light heavyweight champion.
Ray jumped up to 175 to take on the lightweight champion, Joey Maxim. He was winning every round on the cards entering the 11th.
You see how he wobbles that they've almost turned to jelly. None of that fine skill that he usually has.
But the weight jump sapped Sugar's endurance. and the sweltering 100-degree temperature didn't
At
help.
the end of the round. Now look at him. He helped poor Sugar Ray back to his corner, 104 degrees, and it's all over. The bell is rung, and Joe Maxson still is the light heavyweight, the 175-pound champion of the world.
Just 2 rounds, just 6 minutes away from joining the ring's charmed circle of Triple Crown winners, Robinson was stopped for the first time in his career. This was to be his last fight. The triumphant exit of one of the greatest scientific fighters the ring has ever produced. He retired, middleweight champion of the world, immediately after the big fight.
Ray retired after the fight and went into show business.
I've gone into show business because dancing is something I've always loved.
The champ.
Performing with Gene Kelly.
The feet that dance their way to world titles in the boxing ring now aim to tread a very different measure. It's easy to see the attractions of the footlights for Sugar Ray, but has he really finished fighting?
All my fans are wondering in regards to my intentions of boxing again. As yet, I have not made up my mind.
He was sloppy and neglectful about his own fortune that he amassed. He let his businesses run down. He got in trouble with the IRS over taxes. The collapse of his financial empire is what forced his compelling comeback.
The retirement lasted 2.5 years before financial issues forced him to return to the ring.
That he's broke, desperately in need of finances. Well, that's somewhat true. I need a buck as well as anyone else, I guess.
Defending champion was Carl Bobo Olsen.
The best fought the best, and you had a lot of the best.
World middleweight champion Carl Bobo Olsen is challenged by Sugar Ray Robinson. Chicago, 9th of December, 1955.
He came back to challenge the new middleweight champion, Bobo Olsen.
Sugar Ray making a tough comeback is now 35 years old to Olsen's 27.
Sugar was 35 years old, and most suspected he was washed up. It took just 2 rounds before Ray made it clear he had plenty left to offer the sport.
Down he goes. Bobo is down. On his back. Trying to get up. Still trying to get up. Nearly counted 10. He didn't make it. It's all over. Robinson is the middleweight champion of the world. Winner by a knockout at 2 minutes and 51 seconds of the second round.
3 years after he had retired, Sugar Ray was middleweight champion again. The comeback made him even more of an American hero.
The greatest fighter, pound for pound, the ring has ever known. Sugar Ray Robinson.
A rematch with Bobo Olsen was set.
So here we are outdoors in Los Angeles. Last time out, Robinson knocked Olsen out in 2 rounds. This time, Olsen promises to do better.
Olsen was right. He did do better in this outing, lasting 4 rounds instead of just 2.
Olsen down on his back again, very much like in the last fight. It's all over. Robinson's the winner.
Muhammad Ali spoke openly about mimicking his style after Sugar Ray. The dancing, the footwork, the jab.
Pound for pound. When they say Sugar Ray Robinson was the greatest fighter pound for pound, meaning that I imagine he was a heavyweight fighting the same style, he'd be the greatest. I would have to admit, I would have to say yes.
Watching Ali fight, you saw someone aspiring to be Ray Robinson. He was the heavyweight Sugar Ray Robinson.
That man was beautiful. Timing, speed, reflexes, rhythm, his body, everything was beautiful.
Robinson defended against Gene Fulmer. Very strong, powerful man.
At age 36, Sugar Ray lost his middleweight title on points to 26-year-old Gene Fulmer.
Robinson lost the 15-round decision. And again, the sports obituaries were written.
Winner by unanimous decision and the new middleweight champion of the world,
Sugar Ray Robinson was the challenger once more. At his training center at Pompton Lakes, he planned his revenge.
One thing about Sugar Ray Robinson, he didn't want to be the guy who beat him and just fight him in the rematch. Because if you were lucky enough, but very few people beat him. But if you were fortunate enough, good enough to beat him, well, in the rematch, they usually got knocked out. Because he fixed what we went for.
Yeah.
One of the sides of a great one.
Robinson was such a tactician that rematches to him were like tests, with the answers already written in.
6 months later, challenger and champ square up once again. It's Robinson's 148th professional fight. He's 36 years old. Fulmer, the champ, is 11 years younger.
Gene Fulmer was a tremendous middleweight champion. Here's Sugar Ray Robinson, who was really a welterweight.
Former world welterweight and middleweight champion, Sugar Ray Robinson. The middleweight champion of the world, Gene Fulmer.
And Fulmer, this strong, bull guy, who was underrated as a fighter, too.
And Sugar Ray Robinson. Fourth round of schedule 15, and Sugar Ray gets home a good right-hand shot to the jaw of Fulmer. This may have been what Robinson was waiting for. He clamps down.
Robinson versus Fulmer 2 would be one of Sugar Ray's finest moments.
But as he steps to his right, he times a left hook.
So, you want to become a pilot? It's easy. It's just 14 years of obsession, rigorous training.
Ladies and gentlemen, winner by a knockout and new world's middleweight champion, Sugar Ray Robinson.
The brilliant KO put Robinson back on top. The first four-time middleweight champion in history.
At the age of 37, he was on top of the world, middleweight champion.
Did you happen to catch the welterweight title fight the other night, Ray?
I'm awfully sorry to say I didn't. I'm just not a fight fan.
Welterweight champion Basilio, like Robinson before him, now has his sights on the middleweight crown.
Basilio would hand the aging Robinson another decision defeat.
The winner and new middleweight champion of the world, Carmen Basilio.
He felt he defeated Basilio, and there were many people who agreed with him. So, of course, a rematch was in order to settle the issue.
The rematch, like always, was a different story.
Nearly 40,000 fans in Yankee Stadium and all eyes on the ring as announcer Johnny Addy introduces the two contestants. By round 3, the pace is fast as ever, and the fight is even Stevens. Sugar Ray trying to drive those hard jabs to the body and face.
It was darn near impossible to beat Sugar Ray twice.
Carmen Basilio having trouble with his left eye.
In spectacular victories, Ray defeated the greatest fighters of his era, Randy Turpin, Carl Bobo Olsen, Gene Fulmer, and Carmen Basilio.
Robinson battered Carmen over 15 rounds.
Just look at that bulging left eye of Carmen Basilio's. By now, he's really in trouble.
Swelling his eye like a balloon.
Watch for the terrific close-ups of that all-important eye.
He was the best fighter I ever seen. I've been looking at fighters for 55 years.
The victory made him a 6-time champion.
The winner and the new world middleweight champion, Sugar Ray Robinson.
All the fighters, I put them up there on Mount Olympus. With all due respect to a great guy like Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano, Tony Canzoneri, Willie Pep, Sandy Sadler, so many greats, Muhammad Ali. They come here Ray Robinson's up there, up on Mount Olympus by himself.
Sugar Ray Robinson, the man who goes on and on and on as a boxer opens his European tour with a bout in Brussels.
He continued fighting, tallying over 200 fights in total.
The old master fights himself out of the tight corner. This is Robinson's 167th fight. In the 8th round, the payoff as Robinson knocks out Sarins with a terrific punch to the body.
A fighter who was first to be called pound for pound the greatest fighter ever.
He could box, he could slug, he could defend himself. I guess he had a panache. You know, he could do it all.
Tries to rise, but he tumbles backwards, and the referee completes the 10 count. Sugar Ray Robinson has his hand raised for the 170th time in his great career. Only 8 months after this fight, Robinson hung up his gloves to the plaudits of fight fans everywhere.
His retirement spurred a celebration of his career at Madison Square Garden.
Just 3 weeks later, a farewell tribute is given in Ray's honor at Madison Square Garden. In 201 professional fights, he has won 184, 109 of these by knockout. A magnificent record.
The greatest pound-for-pound fighter of all time.
Pound for pound, he was the best fighter of all time.
Pound for pound, the best boxer ever to enter the ring.
Greatest fighter, pound for pound, who ever lived. Sugar Ray Robinson is safely ensconced in that position.